Good morning and welcome back to Funliner News, where we bring you all of the juicy drama, breaking news, and all the latest coverage on everything Drum Corps International. This week was our first full week of competition, and now nearly every corps has taken the field, so I'm going to break it down and tell you what happened this week. So as it currently stands as of today, July 9th, the Bluecoats are in the lead with an 83.3. In second place are the Boston Crusaders with an 82.8, followed by the Blue Devils with an 81.8. In fourth place, we have Carolina Crown, followed by Santa Clara Vanguard, Phantom Regiment, Mandarins, Blue Stars, Colts, Blue Knights, Spirit of Atlanta, and the Troopers in 12th. So that is currently where our top 12 stands, but as you know, it is inaccurate to compare scores across different shows and judging panels. So let's dive a little bit deeper to really understand some of these head-to-head battles and where these corps stand. So starting over in Minnesota, the Troopers, Colts, and Cavaliers went head-to-head, with the Cavaliers taking a strong lead by a whopping 1.75 points ahead of the Troopers and the Colts, who are only separated by 0.35. Notably, the Troopers took both the music analysis and percussion captions, while the Colts stole the visual proficiency and general effect 2 caption. So a little bit of a mixed bag here, but an overall decisive win for the Cavaliers and an incredibly strong start for the Corps. Because if you remember the finals results from last year, the Cavaliers ended in 11th place to the Troopers in 10th and the Colts in 9th. So things have been turned upside down, but it's very early in the season, so keep an eye out for these three corps as they shift around throughout the season. Moving on to the Drums Across the Smokies show in Tennessee, where Carolina Crown and the Phantom Regiment duked it out on the field, with Crown ending on top by just 0.55. Crown was able to hold onto every caption except for General Effect 1 and Visual Proficiency, but they held a large gap in captions like Music Analysis and Color Guard, both winning by 0.4. Notably, Carolina Crown was able to hold on to the percussion caption against Phantom by just 0.1, which is impressive considering their recent percussion staff change. But for all you Phantom fans out there, don't you worry, this is still very early in the season, and this happened last year, and look how the season ended for Phantom in the end. Also, Phantom was only 0.1 behind Crown in brass, and they beat them in the content subcaption. So that's very interesting and shows that there may be a higher ceiling for the Phantom Regiment brass. The Bluecoats did perform a show in Wisconsin, scoring an impressive 83.3 at their first show, but we will have to wait until we see them head-to-head with another top 5 corps until we know really where they stand. And finally, the big showdown in the West, the Stanford show, where Boston Crusaders continue their undefeated start to the season, winning every single caption except for percussion, who went to, you guessed it, the Santa Clara Vanguard. The Boston Crusaders increased their margin of victory, beating the second place Blue Devils by a full point, and the Vanguard following behind the Blue Devils by 0.8. Some notable caption shuffles are the Blue Devils losing both visual proficiency and visual analysis and percussion to the Santa Clara Vanguard and Boston Crusaders. At this same show, the Mandarins ended in 4th with a pretty large gap of 3.3 to the Santa Clara Vanguard. However, they were able to steal the brass caption, ending in 3rd place over Santa Clara Vanguard. And if you haven't seen their show, this is well deserved. That Mandarins brass line is very, very, very strong. But that pretty much wraps up our score recap for the week. Some very exciting battles to follow this season and some unexpected surprises as well. Looking ahead to this next week, the California Tour continues moving down to Southern California with 2 big back-to-back shows featuring all the corps currently on the West Coast, starting with the Western Corps Connection on July 11th. This show will also be streamed on Flow Marching, so tune into that, and the Drum Corps at the Rose Bowl show on July 12th. And if any of you watching are going to be at any of these 2 shows, I will be there in person, so please don't be afraid to come say hi. Also on July 12th is the Cavalcade of Brass show in Illinois, where we get to see the Bluecoats alongside the Cavaliers, Troopers, Colts, and the Madison Scouts. Over in Arkansas on the same day is the DCI Little Rock show, which will be streamed on Flow Marching and features Carolina Crown, Phantom Regiment, the Crossmen, Music City, and the Spirit of Atlanta. But if we can just look a little bit farther into the future is the DCI Broken Arrows show on July 15th, where we will finally get to see the Bluecoats go head-to-head with some real competition against Carolina Crown and the Phantom Regiment. So a lot of very exciting shows to look forward to, and I'll be excited to check back in with you guys in a week to break down all that happened after another awesome week of DCI. So that's pretty much all the news I have for you guys today, but I wanted to close out today's episode and just give you, the viewers and watchers of this channel, a little PSA. First of all, I want you all to know that I very much appreciate each and every one of you that watch this show and take time out of your day to watch Funliner. I do work very hard on it, and I care about making something that you guys all want to watch and enjoy. But just to clear up some things, because I do read the comments and I do understand some of the frustration that I've seen in this little Funliner community I've created. I do this for fun. I am not here to tell anyone what to think, who to root for, or who is the rightful best core on the field. I'm just sharing my honest thoughts and opinions based on my experience and what I like. The number one comment that I see is that I am biased. And my response to that is, yes, I am. Like, of course I'm biased. I marched 4 years with the Blue Devils and I won 2 championships there. So I very, very deeply cherish my time with the Blue Devils organization as a whole. Of course, I'm going to like the style of show that the Blue Devils put out because that's the whole reason I went there in the first place. And for those of you that are critical of this channel for that reason, I would say that you guys have the same bias towards other groups, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with you liking a certain group. So if you're looking for someone to come on the internet and put a camera on their face and robotically analyze from a completely objective standpoint, you're in the wrong place. This is not that, and I'm not trying to be a judge. I'm not trying to make the end-all, be-all perfect opinion. I'm just watching and enjoying things just like you guys, and I honestly don't think that you guys would want some disingenuous fake reaction that is predicated on making sure that I don't hurt someone's feelings or that I give the correct opinion. But anyways, that being said, whether you watch in support or watch out of hate, I appreciate all of you for watching nonetheless, and I hope that I can continue to grow this channel and help continue grow DCI as an activity. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. But until next time, my name is Everett Kim, this is Funliner News, and I'll see you in the next one.